Alright, garden 3. I'm getting ready to throw some neem oil on the peppers and the tomatoes, you know, and then check everything out. So I'll even throw in an elderberry update up there. So anyway, let me get started, and I'll talk to you in a few. Just a few tomatoes over there ready to go. Alright, so neem oil has been sprayed. Don't know if I've showed it on video, but I tend to do my pepper plants the same way I do my tomatoes. I keep the bottom foot up off the ground. First reason is you don't get soil splashback. Now, pepper plants are much more resistant to blight than tomato are, but because I've got them growing in such close proximity, I go from peppers to tomatoes. I don't need the blight to get onto the pepper, and the pepper be strong enough to fight it, and my tomatoes get infected. So it's the same thing. Lower plant, lower leaves come off. That also does is it allows me to make sure that the fruit sets are all up off the ground, so none of my fruit is actually laying on the ground, because it'll get eaten that way. And then, so, you know, life is awesome. Something I need to do, and I'm not going to have time to do it this morning. I don't know if I told you, I'm kind of doing the video backwards today. I'm out here in the garden first thing, spraying the neem oil before the sun hits the plants. That way it has time to dry and not burn them. But I also have a dental appointment later. So I'm going to do breakfast after I'm done in the garden, and that way it's a late breakfast because my dental appointment will be right smack in the middle of lunch. And while it's just a cleaning, you know, you don't want to get done cleaning your teeth and then go out and, you know, have a steak and mashed potatoes and gravy type thing. You want to wait a while. So anyway, in the garden. Neem oil's on the tomatoes. They're as high as their log. Yay! But what I wanted to show is my corn. You have to excuse my morning hair because I'm quite sure I have it. But this is just so you can see how high my corn is. There you go, there's Nita. And it's above me. You know, this is not a camera angle trick. There you go, I'm tilting up so you can see the top of the corn. My corn is tall. Sorry, yeah, I turned it back around. You know, you don't need to see more than Nita. My corn is tall. Living life large and loving it. And for the most part, each stalk has 2 corn sets. There's one there and there's one there. You can tell by my silk strings. This happens to be a good one to show. This is what creates the pollen. And when the pollen falls down, it falls on the silk string. And each of those strings fertilize a corn kernel. It's the easiest way for me to say that. And so that's why you got to watch out for the worms that come over here and eat the silk, because then you're not going to get corn. And then the other thing is planting the corn closer together actually provides better pollination, because if this one is done pollinating, and it's not, it's in full pollination right now. Does that make sense? But this one is just starting to produce silk. Makes sense? You run the possibility of the one left or right next to it will pollinate it as well. So, life is awesome. And one of those other cute things to look at, the corn here that I showed you that was low enough for me to show you, if you notice, has no corn set on him. This is where the gourd, the butternut squash, is closest to him. So I'm honestly assuming he is never going to produce a corn set because he's too busy fighting the squash for nutrients. Does that make sense? That both of them are just sucking nutrients, and so they're you know, fighting each other for it. So this is what sunflowers and basket gourds look like growing together. The sunflowers are up and through the hoop tunnel, you know, and the basket gourds have come across and are, you know, going to the sun. There's a nice basket gourd flower. They're like early morning blooms. And then they come, I won't lie, they've gone all the way over. This is on the far side from where it is seated. And the gourds are still going, which is fine. Again, this is another one of those top views. That's what the gourds look like at the top, and on the inside it's just this nice cool green cover. So I came out and I soaked a bunch of my plant food in water to get it to dissolve down as much as possible, and just kind of soaked these guys, both the gourds and my crookneck squash, to see if I could stop or prevent any more of the root end rot. Most of what you're seeing here was already identified in the last video when we were talking about it. There's another one there. But you can tell, you can look at it, you can tell it's been dead for a while. That's not new death. Where all the flowers that are pretty much in bloom right now, like that one and that one and that one. Does that make sense? And we'll even come over here. All the ones that are in bloom right now or that bloomed yesterday don't have any end rot. And so I am assuming that's what I was lacking, was the calcium, not specifically food, but calcium. Because that's probably one of the biggest things that create flower end rot or food end rot. Having said that, because I have so many of them here and they are growing profusely, I need to go find some bone meal. I looked at one of the stores yesterday, didn't find any, went and picked up some more plant food, but they don't need any nitrogen. Does that make sense? They're large, they're green, their leaves are large, they're producing, does that make sense? Lots of growth. So I don't need any more nitrogen. They have plenty of nitrogen, and that's, rabbit manure will help do that. What they're missing is the calcium. So bone meal, flash the big words, bone meal. I need to find some bone meal. Beyond that, everybody's doing great. We're going to go back on the inside. Everybody's still growing, right? Everybody's still producing. I got ants and stuff in the flowers and bees, and you can hear them out here buzzing. Everybody's getting pollinated. The zinnias here that are on this side with very little or nothing stopping them from getting their sunshine are doing awesome. Pinks and oranges, same here in the middle, where there's nothing to block their sunshine, are growing great. There's my birdhouse gourd. Isn't he pretty? Trying to remember where the basket gourd was that I showed you the other day. Alrighty, I'm not seeing him. Oh, I got something stuck in my hair. One of the gourds got my hair. Alright, well, this is going to be interesting. See? I don't know if you can see that. I'd like to not break it, but I need my hair back. Alright, I guess I'm breaking it. There you go, that was the twisty. Caught my hair. Part of it's still in my hair. There you go. That's the rest of the twisty. It was like, yeah, climb on me. No, let's not. Alrighty, I don't know where he is right now. Huh. Wonder what happened to him. Well, he's not on the ground anywhere. I'm just assuming I can't find him because of the leafage. Well, that's odd. Anyway, there's another good picture of a gourd in bloom. All right, well, I will talk to you later. Y'all have an awesome day. This is another one of those just, last minute videos. Miss Panda is playing with her Frisbee because it's awesome to have Frisbees and play with them. This is my Jerusalem artichoke. It was gifted to me. I've not put it specifically in the garden. because they grow a lot, and I don't know if I like to eat them, and I only grow what I eat in the garden. So they're in pots. They're not even inside a fence, so far I've not had critter issues with them, which is awesome. But what I do have is a powdery mildew issue, and that's what that is. That's what you're seeing right now, is powdery mildew. There's a little recipe that involves like baking soda and some dish soap and something else. When I make it, I'll show it to you, or I'll tell you what it is, that you spray on here. And then what it is because that changes the pH balance of the leaves. It kills the mildew that's on it, supposedly. And then I can take off all the leaves and they go to the trash. They do not go to the compost pile. But yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what powdery mildew is. And you can kind of see where, you know, that leaf is just white and dying. It's covered. It's on there, speckled. It's on that one just a little. You know, and then you get up to this leaf here, and it's got 2 spots. So basically, even though they're baby leaves right there in the middle, they're already infected. You know, does that make sense? It works its way up, and just what's visible right now is, you know, is what you can see, but it's the whole plant's infected. It's got to be sprayed. Now I have them in 3 pots. This one, believe it or not, does not appear to have any on it. Oh, nope, there it is. Gotta come in here. See it on that leaf? It's on there. So, yeah. The third one, I'm not even gonna walk over to it. I know it's got some on it. That's the one I saw first and came out to check out the other 2, and lo and behold, I have powdery mildew. Isn't my rose pretty? So, anyway, that'll be a whole nother video. That's what it looks like if you've never seen it. And I'll talk at you later.